Hello and welcome to your reading today. We're going to tune into spirit and see what you are running from. I sit here with spirit in meditation and feel through, I guess, what message we need to hear. And whenever I do these readings, it has a lot to do with whatever I'm going through. So I go back and listen to these readings because when I channel, I don't remember what I'm saying or I don't realize what I'm saying at the time. And then when I go back and listen to the reading, I'll pick myself a card or I'll pick myself a rune, which we have runes today. And there will always be a message for myself. So I have been unpacking a lot of personal things at the moment, which I believe a lot of people are. And it's interesting to know that there's always something we avoid, ignore, turn our back to, or literally run away from. So I thought that would be an excellent reading, not only for myself, but for all of us, because sometimes we don't realize, we just don't. We're too deep in to everything, we're in it. It's easy to tell people what's going on with them or show them or, guide them. But when it comes to us, it's really, really tricky. So I invite you today to focus on these 3 runes here. And 1, 2, or 3, which one's really drawing you to that message? So I channel spirit and I'm going to give you a reading on what are you literally running from at the moment. So I'd like to say thank you, welcome for being here today. For those people who have returned, thank you. It's nice to see you again. And for the newcomers, I invite you to subscribe, like, and comment below. Let me know. I love the interaction after these readings go live. So thank you, and let's get to it. So I haven't seen these runes. I don't know what's what. So let's just see, and I'll channel as I go. So let's start with rune number 1. So straight away we get this beautiful rune, and I need the book with runes. I've been using them for quite some time, but I don't remember a lot of things. So I'm going to see what this message is, and then I'll use the cards to dig deeper and give more of an explanation as to why this is the case. So, this one's the breakthrough. The breakthrough rune. So let me just go to page 127, and the book I'm using is the Book of Commentary by Ralph Blum. And yeah, I absolutely love this. It's really, really easy to follow. And so let's have a look. Breakthrough. So if rune number 1 was yours, this is your message. It's called the daggers. Daggars. D-A-G-A-Z. So here is the final rune belonging to the cycle of initiation. Drawing daggers often signals a major shift or breakthrough in the process of self-change, a complete transformation in attitude, a 180-degree turn. For some, the transition is so radical that they no longer continue to live the ordinary life in the ordinary way. Because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, although not from the present vantage point, predictable. In each life, there comes at least one moment which, if recognized and seized, transforms the course of that life forever. Rely, therefore, on radical trust. Radical trust. Even though the moment may call for you to leap empty-handed into the void. With this rune, your warrior nature reveals itself. If daggers is followed by a blank rune, the magnitude of the transformation might be so great as to pretend a death, the successful conclusion to your passage. And death is always an exciting time when it comes to cards, etc., because an old part of you that doesn't serve you is dying off. And that's what's happening here, because you're breaking through. A lot of people get to a point where it's just they build, whether it's stress, tension, momentum, whatever it is, but there's this build of pressure, and then it's up to you what you choose to do. You either break down or you have a breakthrough. And this is here now to show you that the next step here is a breakthrough. It's a major period of achievement, and prosperity is often introduced by this rune. The darkness is behind you, daylight has come. Nevertheless, you are reminded not to collapse yourself into thoughts for the future or to behave recklessly in your new situation. Considerable hard work can be involved in a time of transformation. Undertake to do it joyfully. So this rune is absolutely phenomenal. It is time for breakthrough, time for you to just reinvent, to just be, you know, really letting yourself move forward. Now, this is a positive time, but what you are running from is the actual feeling that you can have it different. You know, you can have things the way you actually want them rather than the way they just are. So that's what the real message is on what you are running from. And I just want a little bit more clarification, because this is what you're running from. You're running from the breakthrough. You're looking toward energetically the breakdown to be the only option. But right now I'm here to say it is not the only option. The breakthrough certainly is. Now let's have a look what we come next. Breaking free. I'm just going to get 3 of these beautiful cards. I haven't used these cards before. Awakening. Resilience. Perfect. Now it makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Oh gosh, look, if you chose rune number 1, this is a real big time of rebirthing. It is a time where you may be struggling. You may be really nervous because you're just at a point now where you just don't know what to expect. And, you know, if we really sat in our energy from time to time, we would get to this point where we just don't know what to expect. But it's radical trust. Your spirit guides are here to say it's time for radical trust. Okay, because in that you're going to just break free and let everything drop around you that you've always known. You know, your thought patterns, the story you're telling yourself, people around you may drop away. There's a lot going on that's shifting you into this new frequency, and you are so you're shifting at the moment to a place of the unknown. And in that you're absolutely lifting into this new space. And I'm a big believer that we've all signed up for this lifetime, especially now as a collective. We have such a duty of care for our planet, for Mother Nature, for each other, for humanity. And there's a lot of us questioning what our purpose is. And the thing is, you're shifting into a new frequency, and you're literally awakening. You're asking questions. It might be absolute left field that you've never looked at almost spirituality before, or at this level at least, and looking at things like the quantum field, time travel, all these, you know, alien life forms, all this type of information that you're now intrigued by, or that you're getting pulled toward things. So really let yourself go with that flow. And whenever something, you know, you hear something, you think, oh, hang on, what's that? I need more information. Trust that and continue, because you do need that information so that you remember on a cellular level what you've always known. So you're literally lifting. You're lifting humanity. You're here to get back on your purpose. And there's a part of you that's pushing back and denying you of that, because it's like, well, I'm not good enough for that. You know, other people are doing that. And look, you might be doing this consciously or unconsciously. It doesn't matter. It's happening. So it's easier for you just to jump on board and stop avoiding the fact that you've got a bigger purpose than you're actually doing. And even if you are in this line of work, you're next level now. It's whatever you've been doing has been fantastic, but you know what? It's time to move on to next level. Jump to it. Now the resilience card comes up, and you know, the thing I'm seeing here is that, I don't know if you can see this, but the mask on her is over her mouth. That's what stood out the most out of everything here. And it looks almost like battlegrounds, and she's still standing. And this is not gender specific by any means, but I can see that she's standing there. She's pretty much stripped naked. She's just still walking, very strong, very, you know, standing up very strong. Nothing looks very much alive around her. It looks very robotic almost. So she's taken herself to another existence. She's literally stepping into her power, dropping everything she's ever known, stripping it bare. And that's where you are now. You're stepping up, you're stripping everything bare, and you're starting again. And it's a very it can be turbulent through this time, but it's very necessary. And once you accept that you're stepping into this next frequency and being of service to other people just by looking after yourself and knowing what you know, trusting what you're being pulled toward. If something comes up that you need more information, trust yourself, go get that information, fill in the gaps, because it's not new. This is not new. You're just remembering it. It's like you on a soul level is remembering what you already know, but you've put it down or you've forgotten it in this lifetime. So yeah, if this sounds a little bit scattered, I guess, the way I'm presenting this reading, then that's, take what resonates. But there is a scattered feeling here because everything's slowly falling into place. You're integrating again. So I say, welcome. You are having a breakthrough. You need to let yourself go with the flow. Don't try to control this. It doesn't need to be a breakdown. Sometimes we do break down before we break through, and that's another way of doing it, but you don't need to. You physically don't need to break down, but what your belief systems around you do need to fall away. And that is your reading for rune number 1, the breakthrough. What you're running from is the fact that this could be so much smoother if you just got out of the way, let go of the outcome and went for the ride, because it's going to happen anyway. It's going to be easy if you allow it, accept it and love it, or it's going to be challenging, but it's still going to happen, and it's your choice. So that is rune number 1. That's the breakthrough. Okay. So, rune number 2. Let's see what this one is. Okay, we've got an arrow pointing upwards. All right, let's see what that means. So, the arrow... Where is it? You probably see it before me. Here it is. The warrior. Warrior. I am a warrior. Okay, 113. There it is. It is the sky god. Okay, rune number 2. Let's see. Taiwas, they call this one. And it says, this is the rune of the spiritual warrior. Always the battle of the spiritual warrior is with the self. So I know straight away you're running from you. Okay, funding a will through action, yet unattached to outcomes, remaining mindful that all you can really do is stay out of your own way and let the will of heaven flow through you. These are among the hallmarks of the spiritual warrior. Embodied in this rune is the energy of discrimination, the sword-like quality that enables you to cut away the old, the dead, the extraneous. And yet, with the warrior rune comes certain knowledge that the universe always has the first move. Patience is a virtue of this rune, and it recalls the words of Saint Augustine that the reward of patience is patience. Here, you are asked to look within, to delve down to the foundations of life itself. Only in so doing can you hope to meet the deepest needs of your nature and tap into the most profound resources. The moulding of character is at issue when you draw Taiwas. Associated with this rune are the sun, masculine energy, the active principle. The urge for conquest is powerful here, especially self-conquest. A lifelong pursuit which calls for awareness, single-mindedness, and the willingness to undergo your passage with compassion and in total trust. Similar to the first reading a little bit, isn't it? So you may have been stuck on rune 1 and 2, and it makes sense. When this rune comes in response to an issue of romantic attachment, it indicates that the relationship is both timely and providential. The bond is a real one. There is work for you to do together. If the issue concerns devotion to a cause, an idea, or a path of conduct, the warrior rune counsels perseverance, although at times the kind of perseverance called for is patience. A rune of courage and dedication in ancient times, Taiwas was the glyph that warriors painted on their shields before battle. Now the same symbol strengthens your resolve to align the self with the self. So, rune number 2, what you are running from is yourself. It's like you're running around frantically, not allowing yourself to honor your feelings, your timing. Timing is a big one here because it spoke a lot about patience. So it's like you want things now. You're pushing yourself. You're not letting yourself stop and have the downtime. And that's really slowing down your process, slowing down your development, your understanding as to what to do next. Spirit, the universe, God, they'll put it for you. They'll let you know what to do next, but you're pushing it. So you may be doing things that aren't aligned with yourself at the moment, and you're thinking, well, why do I feel like I'm trying to manifest? I'm using my affirmations. I'm doing my, journaling or whatever you might be doing, but you're just not getting the results. And the thing is, you're pushing it. You're trying to control it. It's about taking a step back and really letting yourself feel whatever you need to feel and let it process. And sometimes, when we have things that come up for us, they might feel just as shitty coming out as they do going in. And we need time to process that. It's all about patience. What you are running from is the need, you're running from letting yourself just have that patience. You are trying to control things so tightly that it's really hard and rigid to do something different at the moment. So let me get a bit more information with these beautiful cards I'm using today and see what all that means. Okay. So to go with rune number 2, we have compassion, rising up, and divine being. This is all very much self. This is all you. So you've been very... You know what? Things like when someone says to you, oh, that's a nice top you're wearing. You go, oh, this old thing, or I bought it, it came out for $10 or whatever. You try to stop the compliment from coming in. If somebody says to you, you look really good today. And you go, oh, well, I haven't had sleep all week. You don't just go, thank you. So I really encourage you to start having compassion for yourself and knowing that you actually deserve little compliments here and there. And simply just say thank you. It takes away all the rejection. You're trying to reject any kindness toward you at the moment because you're really just trying to control everything and feeling a little bit out of control purely because you're trying to control it. So firstly, compassion with yourself. When you start really thinking, you know what, I've been through a goddamn lot and I'm still here. Give yourself a moment to go, well done. Well done. I can't believe I'm still kicking, to be honest. I had a beautiful time with one of my girlfriends on the weekend where we just sat down and she just simply asked me where my spiritual journey started. She gave me space literally for 3.5 hours for me to explain to her my literal life story. Because when I thought about where my spiritual journey started, it was from birth. It's probably past life. We're all on a spiritual journey. The thing is, we aren't, human beings having a spiritual journey. We're spiritual beings having a human journey. That's what's happening. So it's time that you really tap in and let yourself realize how far you've come and what you've been through, and give yourself a little bit of compassion, because if somebody you loved went through everything you've been through, you're going to give them space and time, aren't you? So really nurture yourself and let yourself be you. Because in that, you're going to then let yourself rise up like the phoenix out of the ashes, stepping up going, you know what, I'm more powerful than I realized. That's the realization. You're running away from the power within you that you have earned. You have signed up for this. You've signed up to be here. So don't try to get out of it now. Have the human existence. You're here for a reason, and it's time that you start realizing who the F you are and stepping into you. But you can't do that when you're trying to control everything and avoid anything that's uncomfortable, because you need to feel it and you need to sit back and have the patience to let it flow. Because you, my friend, are a divine being. Like I said, we're spiritual beings having a human existence. So whilst we're here, be active. Be active in it. Stop trying to hide up in the clouds with your spirit team, having, great old time. I do that all the time. I check out left, right, and center, but I bring myself back. Grounding. Be here while you're here. You're needed. The purpose is much bigger than all of us. And that's what you're doing. You're running away from yourself. You're trying to control everything. And you're losing yourself in that. And we're here to say to you today that you're a divine being. Allow yourself to be, and when you do, you will rise up. And that is your message for rune number 2. There we go. What an awesome rune that one is, hey? All right. And last but not least, the third rune for today is, these runes are all upright, by the way, because you can get a reverse reading. But everybody, we're all moving up. Onwards and upwards. And this one is partnership. It is 89. Let us read what this rune is saying with the intention of what we are running away from. And this one is partnership, a gift. Drawing this rune is an indication that partnership is some form is at hand. In love relationships, in business matters, in partnering of every kind, you are put on notice not to collapse yourself into that union. For true partnership is achieved only by separate and whole beings who retain their separateness even as they unite. Remember to let the winds of heaven dance between you. Oh, hear that again? Remember to let the winds of heaven dance between you. At the same time, there is another realm of partnership that you are called to consider. For the path of partnership can lead you to the realization of a still greater union. Union with the highest self, union with the divine. The ultimate gift of this rune is the realization of the divine in all things. God always enters into equal partnerships. Gebo, that's what it's called. The rune of partnership has no reverse. How's that? For it signifies the gift of freedom from which flow all other gifts. So what are you running from? You're running from the fear of being alone. There's something about you that when you're in relationships, you give your all and you lose yourself. And I know in my past when I've, been in relationships at early days, I dropped my friends. In the past, I don't do this anymore. But when I was younger, I dropped my friends because I was so needy for the love. I wanted to be loved so bad that I would just put my partner on a pedestal and just, sit down there on my knees, staring up, going, oh my God, how lucky am I? But in that, become quite needy, desperate, and, I lost myself and didn't even know who I was anymore, because if I wasn't serving them or they weren't with me or anything like that, I would feel disconnected. I wouldn't feel whole without them. I wouldn't be able to fend for myself. It was quite, imbalanced relationships in my past. And this is what I'm getting for you in this reading. I feel like you're running away from your independence. And it doesn't matter when we have partnerships or friendships or relationships. We need to be our own person. We need to let the winds of heaven flow between us. Now, I always say to my clients that, in relationships, it's like making a cake. You make your cake and it's beautiful. You don't need icing on it. It tastes good. But if you did put icing on it, the icing makes it a little bit sweeter and it makes it look prettier or whatever. So I'm like saying, wear the cake. And if we want a partner, make them the icing. It's not necessary, but it's a bit sweeter. But in that, know that we can stand alone and they come in our lives to lift us up. We need relationships where we want our partner to be their best selves and we want them to want us to be our best selves. It needs to be a win-win relationships, and it looks as though that if you went for rune number 3, there's an imbalance in your relationships, that you're giving too much or taking too much. That's the thing. There's something here that's not in balance, and you're literally running away from it like it's not an issue, but I'm here to say it is, and it's time. Whoa! It's time to rectify it. And the thing is, you're ready. So it's not an emergency, so to speak. You want to get to it, but you're on track doing it. You're already thinking about it. So we've got the Divine Being card, we've got the Connection card, and then the Divine Gateway. Gorgeous. So in this rune, with these cards, it's time for you to let yourself start attracting, not chasing. Okay, so that's what you're running away from, just knowing that you are a divine being by yourself. Just you. When you work on you, everything flows from there. I'm a big believer that we only attract what we think we're worthy of. So if we're in situations that aren't for our highest good and make us feel shit, there's a part of us that is creating this because we think we deserve it. You might not like these words today. This reading here might just piss you right off. And if it does, great, because then you've got the passion to have a good look at it and see why. If it doesn't affect you at all, then you're clearly working on it. So just have a look at your reactions, what's going on in your body as you hear these words. Are you tensing up? Is your heart racing? Are you getting panicky? Or is it something that gives you passion and drive, going, yeah, I knew it, I was onto it. But this is a very good reading. It's not a bad reading at all, because it's time that you start working out how you fit in this whole plan, because you really do. And it's not you holding space for everybody anymore. It's you holding space for you first, and then you've got enough energy for everybody else, but you first. Because you're all about connection. And you can see you've got the partners here, you've got the bridge between the hearts, but you've also realised that this is a very much, it's got the nature, it's got Mother Gaia here, and it's actually quite nice. But if you look at that, he's looking at her, she's looking down. So the connection is not as strong as it could be. And again, it's not gender specific, it's just the way the cards are. So don't ignore gender. But two souls, that's all this is. And the thing is, there's a disconnect. So it's time that you start treating yourself to time out, nutritional, food. Just look after yourself like you absolutely love yourself. And if you feel that you don't think you love yourself or know how to love yourself, or you'll never love yourself again, I'm here to say it's rubbish. Just start small, because then you'll get used to it. And with that, it'll give you the divine gateway. Ask for spirit to carry you. Ask them to show you. Because every time I ask for a sign, I always get it. But look and ask and expect beautiful, encouraging, motivating signs. Ask for signs that are going to help you step into the right frame of mind, the right energy, and ask for those and expect them, okay? Because it's time that you start bringing in your spiritual team, because you are on a beautiful self-healing journey. And when you start working on yourself and really stepping up, you're going to see a mirror in every relationship. And at the moment, that's what you're seeing, and you're not liking what you see as much as you could, because you're not liking what you see within, because you're not giving yourself the space to heal. You're just carrying it around and not even unlocking your heart. It's just easy to shut down. And it's time now you unlock it and you do what you need to do. I've got other videos on this YouTube channel, which is EFT. Do some tapping and to start letting the emotions out, but dissolve them. We don't want to just talk about them and have them alive. We want to actually literally dissolve them, and EFT is one technique that is absolutely phenomenal. Have a look through the I might link EFT video to this that comes afterwards, so click on that when you're done. And that's open to all of you, not just this reading, because it's time that you start working through your emotions, because it's energy. We need to shift the energy so that we can step up. And this reading here is that you're running away from knowing that you can be your own person. You can have relationships, but you need to be your own person outside of that relationship. And that is your reading for rune number 3. So thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Please take what resonates. If you like what you hear, please share it, subscribe. And you know what? Even if you don't like what you hear, try and work out why. Sit with it, meditate, and share comments down below. I love to interact. But thank you kindly, everybody. Stay well. Be kind to others, but especially be kind to yourself. See you next time. Peace out.